I got the juice, don't need no proof. 100 like the rum I drink that got me over you. And all your nonsense we all subject to. I found my lane and mind my business like I'm supposed to do. Let's have a toast for all the obstacles that gotta sit. I put my glass up in the air to stimulate the cheers. Not because we made it, but because we making it. I savor the moment, the bouquet forever evident. Yeah. In my realm, I watch the times go by. I got the world in my hands, but I can't tame the sky. Dare I try, I might lose my mind. But it'll be all good after I'm done sipping this wine.
So first off, we gotta talk about your shirt. It's amazing.
I know. I love it.
It's amazing.
Yes. I wore this especially for you.
I appreciate it. I do. I really do appreciate it because you know I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. Mm-hmm. And yeah. We have a lot of things coming that we're gonna get into very soon. But welcome again to Clueless Vino, a show where a guy like me drinks wine and kicks it with a couple cool guests, man. Today I have a special guest with me. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Cassie Proffitt. We went to school together.
Yep, Randolph Macon again. Yes.
Mm-hmm. A lot of cool people there.
Yeah, a lot of cool people. A lot of English classes together.
A
lot of English classes together, which I want to get into later because there's one particular class that I have to speak on.
Mm-hmm. You must.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to tell people anything about yourself? Anything like where you work or like what you do? Yeah.
Yeah. So been around for a little while trying to find something that I really enjoyed, and not that I haven't enjoyed my other jobs, but surprisingly I work at a real estate brokerage, River Fox Realty, which I love.
Nice.
I'm obsessed with it, and coming from an English background, you're like, why did you end up there? But very weirdly, the person who introduced me to my boss also went to Randolph Macon and was an English major. And they were James Murray. I don't know if you remember Meredith. Yeah. They were selling their house with her, and Alexis Thompson. It's funny that you prompted me not to don't say anything that you would feel bad about your job, because I'm just going to be obsessed because I love it. My boss is amazing.
Yep.
She's so quirky and beautiful and intelligent, and I should probably stop. But yeah, I met her 3 years ago, and I became her transaction coordinator, and I just kind of somehow am learning a lot about real estate, and it's really fun because everyone needs a house, so it's not like it's anything super, distinct or anything. It's just really cool, and I work with a really cool group of people.
So it's always good to have a good group of people to work with.
Yeah, it makes everything.
Even if you don't necessarily enjoy your job or where you're at, if you have a good group of people, it can really push you through the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, everyone needs that. Even if I kind of got to this point where I have a lot of anxiety. Get really deep really quickly. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I anxiety.
You're let's talk about video games, and I'm let's talk about anxiety.
Anxiety's fun. No, but
it's a great podcast. But no, that's kind of why I drifted from teaching, because anyone who also went to Randolph Macon and knows I had anxiety during that time, I cared a lot, and I still care a lot about kids. So this switch was still really good because I still got to care about everyone I worked with, but on a chiller level. It wasn't I had children's lives in my hands. It's just houses, and I can deal with that. Yeah, I mean, you have kids, so you understand what it's like. But having a family at work, having people that support you and enjoy your existence and just you can get along with, it's just, I could be stacking boxes. I don't know. I don't care. At least I can disconnect myself from work and do other stuff outside of work and still have a life, you know?
Yeah, that's important, man. We were just talking about how if we're gonna have to work these 40-hour weeks, which we don't really have a reason why we have to work 40-hour weeks.
It's just mandated for some reason.
At least we can do it with people that we enjoy being around. Mm-hmm. So that's cool, man. I'm glad you found something that's giving you this type of energy. Because that's a good thing, man. Okay, first wine.
Yeah.
First
let's
wine.
do it.
I always like to start off with a white wine if we're gonna do like some reds later. 'Cause I feel like just ease us in. You know what I mean?
Okay. I trust you. I don't know a lot about wine.
I don't know why this show is called Clueless Vino. I know nothing. This is another one of my. Is it? I think this is another one of my Naked Wines. You know about Naked Wines? So Naked Wines is basically a wine distributor that, you know, they have a bunch of independent winemakers. And if you subscribe, you get like 60% off the market.
Oh.
So like I got one of these as part of like a bulk purchase.
Okay.
So it's like maybe like 10 or 11 wines would have cost like 100 something. Cost me like 60.
Dude, that's awesome.
So it's pretty sweet, man. So you should go to like nakedwines.com.
Okay.
This is kind of an ad.
Okay.
I want them to like, you know, sponsor me really badly.
Yes!
Really badly.
I thought maybe they did already.
They didn't.
They need to.
But yeah, this is a Naked Wine. It's a Sauvignon Blanc, Rod Easthorpe, I believe is this man's name. Hawke's Bay, New Zealand.
Ooh, New Zealand.
You ever been out the country?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad you thought about it.
Well, I've been to Canada, so it's like I was trying to think about if I've gone somewhere else, but that's the only place.
I mean, it counts.
It does count, and honestly, Canada was so different. Like as soon as we crossed the border, it was just. I'm not trying to be so stereotypical, but it's a good stereotype. That everyone was so nice.
Polite? Oh my gosh. What?
I had tears in my eyes. This guy was talking to us about like where we should park, and he was just being so sweet about it, and I almost started crying. Like, it was just so nice. And their squirrels are black. Like they have bushy black fur.
Nice.
They just have, I don't know, it was so weird.
Nice.
So I can't imagine what would happen to me if I went out somewhere.
Into like a whole different place.
I would just...
They might not be as polite though.
No.
Canada's got a different type of like hospitality thing.
It's true, yeah.
Oh man, squirrels. Remember our RMC squirrels? RMC squirrels are different, bro.
They are their own breed.
They are different.
Like they need to have their own like Latin definition. Like they have to have their own Wikipedia page.
You remember Meerkat Manor? It was like an old like Animal Planet show.
Yes. I thought you meant there was a place on campus.
No.
And I was like, is that where the squirrels live?
But they should have a show like Meerkat Manor.
Yes.
I would watch that.
Well, they're so used to all like the campus people like eating all the food and just giving them all the food.
Yeah.
Giving them all the alcohol probably.
Probably on a late night.
Like these drunk fratty squirrels running around.
Little shot for a little squirrel, man.
They would come right up to you too,
They
man.
They would.
Oh my God. There was one, I was going into the library, and this is kind of sad. So I'm going sad again, I'm sorry, but it's also really funny. It was like a squirrel whose back legs were all like swollen and shit. And it was like crawling really fast, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" And it scared me. There was all sorts of bizarre squirrel stuff.
Yeah.
Like, super weird.
That's They might have been the Pokemon of our campus.
Yes.
They might have been.
Gosh.
They might have been. Okay, so you said you enjoy. You're not a wine fan, but you do enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you enjoy alcohol. You're like me.
I like alcohol.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I do like wine. I'm trying to be better. Like, I've been working out more. I do kickboxing.
Yeah, I've been seeing you. Yeah.
And I weirdly love it, even though I used to hate exercise.
Working out, yeah.
Like, but now I have to do it.
So it's like is it one of those endorphin adrenaline runs?
I think so, yeah. And I feel kind of badass, like punching and kicking stuff.
Come on, man.
Like,
there we go.
I'll like be doing a round kick, and I'm like, Tommy, come look at this, and I'll like show him, and he's like, okay.
As long as you're not kicking Tommy.
Yeah. We kick each other in the butt sometimes.
Okay, that's
like playfully. Like I'll be like, "Come here, let me kick your butt while I do this." Like, and literally kick his butt, not like beat him to the ground.
Beat him to the ground, and now he's.
It's like, sorry, thanks. I need to work out some things. It'll be okay.
Let out some aggression.
Yeah, get that steak that's in the freezer. Just put that on your face. You'll be fine. So, do you do anything fancy?
So usually I smell it. So.
Okay. Is this also a thing that you learned, or is this just you? Is this what we do?
I watch a few YouTube videos.
Oh, okay, cool.
And went with that,
And then you like swish it, right?
A little bit, yeah. I like the smell. It smells very fruity.
Does it say it has on the back? Does it say it has like notes of something in particular?
Can tell you.
We're trying to figure out what it tastes like.
It says notes of gooseberry,
I don't know what that tastes like.
Elderflower
okay.
and fennel. So none of the things I thought were in there.
I've never tasted
What the
any
heck
of
is a
those.
gooseberry?
I don't know. I'm
I'm nervous. That's like goose testicles.
I don't think it's that. I think it is. It's a fruit.
Okay.
I might be wrong though. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. So.
But you know what? If it tastes good, I don't care if it's a goose testicle.
Let's give it a go.
And you shouldn't either. I like that.
It's very sharp.
I even though I said I don't like wines a lot, I do like white wines more usually.
So I figured that out as I've been going along. I'm more of a white wine person, but it's not like I'm not a sweets person either. Mm-hmm. So I like something like right in the middle.
Yeah.
This one's very sharp. It's got like a tang to it.
Yeah, it's kind of tarty.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of wine I like. I like it to be not too sweet, but sometimes with reds, they get so dark tasting, like they get very bitter, and I have a hard time with the bitterness, I think. Same thing with beer.
Like, yeah, so I've never been into, like, stouts much because of the dark, very heavy flavor.
Yeah.
I want to try it again, because I'm sure I can find one that I
yes.
like. It just can't be too heavy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had something like, because I know you guys are both beer drinkers too, but Tommy and I used to go to Caboose National all the time, and they have like a great inventory of different types of like local beer and also a lot of like, you know, I keep wanting to say like hipstery beer, but you know what I mean, like just like the beers hipsters would drink.
You know, walk in, give me an IPA. You know,
yeah. So with stouts, they have like some like chocolate milk stouts or like a brownie. It's like a dessert beer, and it's dark and heavy, but it's got a sweetness that you can like stomach that bitterness with, and maybe you might like that. I don't know. That's how I got into stouts.
So I'm kind of nervous about desserts thing, right? Because when we went to, I just recently got back. We recently got back from Florida because my brother-in-law got married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't you.
Congrats. I know. I did it. I did it.
I feel like I have to say it.
Like, you feel like you just feel compelled. Like, congratulations.
Because if I don't say it, I'm an asshole. It's like, oh, well, she didn't give a shit.
Dude, like, get in the comments like, wow, she didn't even say congratulations. It's terrible.
Bitch.
But no, so we went out with Anna's sister and her husband to Cooper's Hall.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Been there. Man, we had a wine tasting, amazing. Mm-hmm. Dinner, delicious. And then dude brought the check. Said, hey man, you guys up for dessert? Like, man, listen, crush the food, full, no thanks, man. Goes back, comes back with the jumps. Hey, these are on the house, on me, dessert wines. I'm like, free wine? Absolutely.
Yes.
Before we got there, Anna's sister had talked about this wine that they had gotten and they had tried that tasted like a Tootsie Roll. It was not delicious. And it was terrible. You want to guess what the wine he brought us was? That same wine. So I'm thinking it's an over-exaggeration.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it can't be that bad.
It's Tootsie Roll.
I tasted that first. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to finish this? It was so bad.
Oh, no.
No offense to the people that made it, but like...
It's got to be bad if you can't even finish drinking it. Like, if it's alcohol, it's like, okay, act like it's a shot, just... Which sounds so bad.
It was like Robitussin. I know.
Oh, so it's supposed to be like a cherry Tootsie Roll kind of thing, maybe?
I feel like that's what it was supposed... Because like, it's like Vino chocolate or something like... It's like supposed to be a chocolate wine.
But it's a red wine.
Oh my God, it was not great. So like, anything dessert now, like, kind of like, I don't know.
Stouts are better.
Okay.
And speaking of Canada, when we went, Canada, I don't know if you know this, is like the king of dessert wines.
Would you like another?
Sure, yes, please.
Okay, so they're the king. Okay.
I think. I might be lying about that too. But to me they are, because I went there once and it was really good. They have ice wine. Which is where they freeze. Oh, I should have brought some of that. They freeze. Again, I'm not a scientist. I don't know all the ways they do it. But they told me when we went, because we went for our honeymoon.
Okay.
We wanted to go to Japan. We didn't have enough money, so we went to Canada instead.
I gotta get there too.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, I gotta get there too.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But they freeze the grapes on the vine.
Okay.
And the freezing process makes them way more dense with sugar.
Okay.
And so when you drink it, it's kind of syrupy, which sounds gross. But, like, it is super sweet. You have to be ready to know, like, this is going to be super sweet, packed with sugar, but it's delicious.
So when you say syrupy, do you mean, like, kind of like thicker or just, like...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's thicker. It, like, goes down more thickly.
I feel like if I had that information beforehand, I can prepare myself
and
for
they
it.
told us that, too. Yeah. So we were ready, because otherwise I've been like, what did you just give me?
Yeah.
Is it Robitussin? Like,
exactly.
But it doesn't, it's great. And we got a bottle of it. It was like $100 for, like, one bottle.
Ooh.
But it's their thing. It's like their thing.
They're
aside
known for
from
that.
like syrup or whatever. I mean, whatever else they have, like, because that's kind of more important. But it's part of like sugary, syrupy, like ice wine. I don't know if they're involved in some way, but it was really good. Yeah.
Is Canadian bacon just bacon in Canada?
I don't know.
How would I know? Like,
That's a great question.
Like, do they just be like, "Oh, pass me the bacon"?
I think it's thicker. I think it's a thicker cut bacon, and I don't know if that's because Canadian people cut their bacon thicker. It's like a style. I don't know.
To me, Canadian bacon is just ham.
Because it's thicker.
That
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
right? So
But
it's
I
like
hate ham.
I don't like ham either. I love bacon.
Me too. Yeah.
Does
Do
that make us weird?
I don't know. Well, how about this? This is like the most important question I'll ever ask you. But, do you like pineapple pizza?
You love pineapple pizza.
It's my favorite pizza.
Yeah.
And I don't like the ham on it.
Just pineapple.
Yeah, just
cheese-
pineapple, which
cheese
I
and
think
pineapple.
makes it worse.
That kind of like there's no savory.
Because some people are like,
counterbalance.
oh, Hawaiian pizza, sure. And I'm like, no, just pineapple. And they're like, you're psychotic.
So with red sauce.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep. And I used to work at Domino's, so I could like shovel down some pizza.
That's interesting because like I think the reason for the pineapple pizza or the Hawaiian pizza is you get the savory and the sweet, and you're just like I just need the sweet.
Nope. If it was bacon, I could do bacon.
You should try that next time. Just
I think that's probably good.
Bacon.
I mean,
I could see that though.
It would be, and then I'm trying to remember. I don't know if they do this anymore, but at Domino's when we were making the pizzas, it would have a code. Like each topping has a different letter. Bacon was not B. It was K.
Okay.
Because B was beef.
Sure.
So they already had it. So that would be K, and then pineapple was N. Because P is pepperoni.
Yeah.
So that would be a K, N pizza, and I would put it on there.
Wow.
And then I always laugh because there was always PMS pizzas. Those pepperoni mushroom sausage.
You had to get out of there. you were finding some weird stuff about that job. So I do want to talk to you about your journey to becoming a Trekkie.
Okay.
Because, and when I go through social media, I'm just scouring. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I might like something here and there, retweet, whatever. But I did notice you, I can't remember when it was, you was like, gonna start watching Star Trek. Never watched more, because from my understanding, you didn't even want to watch it at all beforehand.
No, I didn't even think I would like it, because there's this big, at least I thought, that there was this huge nerdom separation between Star Wars and Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a surf project at Randolph Macon on Star Wars. I was full gung-ho Star Wars, read all the books, watched all the movies, obviously, and then did a research project on it. I was like, this is my camp. Yeah. This is what I do. My dad used to watch Star Trek in the living room, when I was younger, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. And I was like, I think I would hate this. Mm-hmm. And it's really funny you say that, because there was a memory on Facebook, which is one of the, I don't like Facebook a lot, but the memories is pretty funny. It can
be good and it can be bad.
Yes,
it can be oh man, I forgot about this. Or it could be, oh man, I forgot about this.
No, exactly. And it's weird, especially with COVID. When something comes up, you're like, oh shit, I used to be able to do that.
Do things,
It's so weird. But no, a memory came up where I put Star Trek is time travel, and that's stupid because it's space and it's supposed. I was really mad. Yeah, I was like, why am I getting so mad?
You were hard. That was your camp, man. Mm-hmm. Star Wars was your camp. So how did you get into finally being you know what? Let's watch episode 1.
Yeah. So mostly because of COVID. I was I need to watch something else. Yeah. And my first intention was to watch Buffy.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
I had never watched Buffy, which
Really?
also seems like a big thing where people are like, Cassie's never watched Buffy? Like, I watched these things.
To be fair, I didn't watch it until I started messing with Annie.
Yeah, but it's like, great. I know a lot of AGT girls like Buffy, because, not to plug another podcast, but I know they have a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast.
Nice.
So, but anyway, I was like, I've never watched it. I went to go watch it, but it wasn't on Amazon Prime, which is what I had. And so I was like, oh shit, okay, I need to find something else. So I watched Charmed, which I used to watch with my mom every day. I was like on a 90s kick. I was like, I need to watch some cool 90s shows.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to watch anything new. So I watched that whole thing, and then I was like, okay, what do I watch next? I was like, you know what? Star Trek's on here.
Yeah.
I started from the original series.
Nice.
So it was hard, but it was good.
Yeah.
And I noticed, like, it's a lot of time travel. Like, they're always going into the holodeck and something crazy's happening. Yeah. Or they're always, like, going on like, it was always weird because the original series was like, we're going to a planet and they have humans, but they're, like, in this era of Earth. And it's like, that's weird.
Yeah.
You have more an imagination than that? Like, what? And I always and I still kind of get mad. I'm like, I will say, the aliens in Star Wars are way cooler looking.
Okay, yep.
Because all the aliens in Star Trek just have different weird
facial things, yep.
Like, they have a spoon face, or they have, like, weird ridge face.
Little
and
wrinkles.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not that much deviation. But, all that's to say, and I feel bad because I have a lot of Star Trek followers on Twitter now, and I don't want them to hate me, but I fell in love with it, and I don't know if I might say I like Star Trek more than Star Wars.
That was about to be my question. Like, are you still fully Star Wars, or has Star Trek?
I've watched all of it, and it's just all of it has been so good.
Yeah.
The Next Generation, I love Patrick Stewart, and I loved Patrick Stewart before because I was a big Shakespeare person. Yeah. And there are tons of Shakespeare influences and references in The Next Generation. And I was in love with Will Riker, who I got to meet. Oh my God, it was amazing. I was very tipsy for that, which is good.
Nice.
Because I was like a giggling fanatic, and he was very excited that I was a new. Because I guess that's rare. There aren't a lot of like people my age that are new.
That
Trekkies.
are new, yeah.
Because it's who's watching it if they haven't already watched it. At this point. And then I watched Deep Space Nine, which was the best for me.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
The character development is just so enriching. It's just so much fun. It's hilarious. Like, I'll sit there, and not even for, like, the cheesy factor of it being old. Yeah. Like, there are genuinely really funny parts where I'm like, oh my God. And, like, Data, like, I used to be terrified of Data as a kid because he was, like, this weird robot with yellow eyes. Right. And I was like, he's the monster. He's the bad guy. And then you watch it, and you're like, he does turn evil a lot. Like, and you're like, okay, I can kind of see why that is.
Your intuitions were right.
Yeah. And then what's weird is that, like, I told my dad, I was like, I'm watching Star Trek now, because he used to watch it, and he knows all about it, and he's like, oh, so you know this now, and you know this now, and I'm like, yeah, and so now I have, like, a cool connection to him, which is really cool. The other one I want to create is the X-Files, because he liked that a lot. So our connection is nerdiness, for sure. And those shows, so like that's really cool. And King's Dominion used to be Paramount, used to be owned by Paramount Pictures.
That's true. Yep.
And we lived so close to Paramount lived so close to King's Dominion that we had a season pass and we would go every summer. Yeah. And they used to have Klingons and Vulcans, and there's a picture of me with Klingons, and I was like. Oh, I would have been so excited, but I'm pretty sure I'm, like, crying in the picture because I'm like, I hate this. Who are these people? And I'm like, this is so cool. There's a picture of my brother with, like, Romulans, and I'm like, this is amazing.
That's fun.
But now I don't get it now.
Yeah, that sucks.
And there was a Rugrats ride. Did you ever ride the Rugrats ride? Because it was dope.
I don't think I did, man. Because it's like, I'm from the shore, so, like, it's always like 2.5 hours of drive or whatever.
Everyone thinks.
But I would hit it every night. We would usually hit Busch Gardens. Typically,
which is better to me.
It's closer.
Busch Gardens is better, roller coaster wise. Like King's Dominion, would give me a headache on every ride because it was like,
Busch Gardens definitely had better rides. Mm-hmm. Definitely had better rides. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's interesting, man. It's like a full circle thing. Like you hated it, and now it's like. But I feel like that's how like shows are.
Yeah.
Watching shows as an adult is way better than watching it as a kid.
Absolutely.
Because you can pick up on things differently now.
Yes.
So like
even in like Rugrats and Hey Arnold, like I told you that I started watching Hey Arnold, like for fun in the morning because I could just put it on, and I'll like get jokes and I'll get things. That,
it's
like,
fun, right?
It's great
because you would never get them as a kid.
Yeah. Do you feel like you? I wanted to ask you this. Do you feel like you get that with like newer cartoons that your son watches? Like, are they just as witty? Like, do they do the same thing? Because I feel like they're doing it for the adults, right? Like, there's got to be adults in the room.
I assume that when they make these shows, that they're making it they're directing it toward kids.
Yes.
But they're throwing stuff in there because they're like the parents have to be in the room watching this.
And
so
sometimes it's weird, but
it can get rough. Like I watch like Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh my god!
I used to watch Rocko's Modern Life.
I don't know if that was ever a kid's show though, man. Oh my god!
I mean, it was a kid's show, but like. There was the one episode where Rocco's trying to get Spunky a new bowl. And so he goes to the mall or whatever. And apparently to get there, you have to get in a cart. Like, you know, like it's like a roller coaster almost. Like you get
okay.
And he's like, all right, everybody, hop on in, on all fours, in the doggy position. And I'm like, no. You can't say that.
Wasn't he also like on a sex line?
Yeah, he was a sex operator.
Yeah, that was never.
That show. That is
teetering.
I watch it. I'm like, all right, dog, you can't be doing these things.
Can you imagine walking in, like, on your kid watching that and being like, what are you watching? Like, that's one where it's like, no. But, like, Rugrats and stuff, they would say stuff, and you're like, that's funny.
That's funny, because you get it. You get it now.
But I don't care.
Or just,
like,
and just, like, real adult stuff. Like, when, the episode where Angelica breaks her leg. And then she, like, forces, like, Stu to, like, make her pudding.
Yes.
And he's like, what are you down here doing? Making pudding. And he's like, why? Because I've lost every ability. I was like, yes, that's it. Because that's how I feel as an adult. I have no control over my life anymore. The caption
says, like, these guys are 30 years old.
Yeah.
I have no control over my life anymore.
I have no control over my life anymore.
Yes.
Like, that I totally understand.
There needs to be new cartoons like that.
They're rebooting Rugrats.
I'm scared, but I'm excited. I'm okay with them doing stuff like that. If it turns out fine, then who cares? You know,
so here's what I say about that. If it works out fine, it's fine. Sure. But there's no originality in Hollywood anymore. Like, what can we do? Let's just reboot something. Did you see they're doing Powerpuff Girls live action? Did you see the first pictures of it? It looks awful. It's three grown women in like slip dresses and penny loafers.
No.
And like, come on, man.
It was cute when the Riverdale girls did it.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of the Riverdale girls did it for Halloween. Sure, yes.
Okay, yeah.
But like, you need kids. That would be so cool.
I'm
sorry, I don't know how the hell to open that. It was like,
we're about to figure it out.
It's wax. It's very Shakespearean.
This is gonna be fun because I have no idea how to do this.
I think that you just put it in. Like, do you have an automatic one?
I do.
That's cool. I think you just stab it in there.
This is gonna be interesting. I've never had a wax one before.
So like, this was expensive, but I had to get it because of one of our topics.
It had to be done.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you have to. Just
all right.
Drill it in.
Let's just do it, man. Let's just do it. But yeah, like, it's just I just don't understand why.
Yeah, no, you're right. There hasn't been originality in years.
Oh, that was
we did it. Okay, cool.
Easy
I was so scared this was gonna be like a disaster. We're gonna be sitting here for like 30 minutes trying to figure out how to open this freaking wine.
That was way easier than I thought.
I like looked at the car and I was like, oh shit. What is this? I was like, what did I do?
That's fun. So this next wine is called, I assume it's just called 7.
I'm assuming it's just called 7.
7. Ugo.
Roman numerals.
Yeah. Shout out to me for knowing that. There's a reason I know it. You know why we know it.
Yes.
Ugo Lestelle, I'm going to say. It's French.
It's very French.
Sure. There's
which should be a good thing.
Yeah. It should be. Shout out to them, man. Hey, man.
Oh, yeah, you can't intermingle the...
Yeah, man. Listen, that's another YouTube search.
I like it.
Yeah. But I was, we're excited about this because it's crazy because we were, like I said, we had classes together. And, you meet people, like, hey, you're nice,
yeah.
But we never, like, talk.
Yeah.
And then, like, I forgot. I think I made a stat. I
don't even remember how it happened.
Facebook memories again. What happened was I used to do, like, Cloud Strife like quotes on my Facebook, and you were like, I didn't know you like Final Fantasy VII. Why didn't you tell me this? We would have talked a long time ago. I think you gave me the Black Materia album. Like you
I introduced you to that?
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
It is. Did you see he came out with a remix?
Yes,
oh,
and I
God.
listened to it, and it's even better.
Oh, my God. It
like,
was so
I love
amazing.
it. I think that people that know about Final Fantasy VII are a certain breed of people. Just like Star Trekkies, and like there are tons of people that like Final Fantasy games.
Sure, yeah.
But Final Fantasy VII was one of the first long RPGs that I ever played.
Yep.
And I think it came out in 1997.
I want to say 1996 or 7. Yep.
Okay, yeah. They at some point they coincided with the years, but then for a while they didn't. And so I would have been 7 years old, which was too young, I think, for me to have been playing it at that point. So I think I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I found it in I was at my uncle's house. My mom was talking to my uncle, and I was bored, and they weren't watching me. And I was like, I'm going to go. I mean, like I said, I was 11 or 12, so they didn't need to watch me. But I was like, I'm going to go play PlayStation. And I played a demo of it.
Yeah.
And you remember when PlayStation 1 had those amazing demo discs?
Oh my God.
Oh my
What?
God, they were so good.
I miss demo discs, actually.
Yes, I do too.
Because, like, because a lot of times now, it's like, oh, this game looks great. You just have to buy it to, like, learn.
Uh-huh.
Where before you can be like, oh, let me go and get this
And
test running.
a good amount of time,
You got to play
too.
the bombing mission.
Yeah.
In the demo, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a good, like, 30, 45 minutes. There was also a game, I was going to see if you remembered it. It was on the same disc. I thought it was Myst, but I don't think it was. It was an RPG, very same blocky shit, but there was like a tree in the middle of this town that was talking to people, and then you were like turn-based fighting on the beach and stuff. Does it sound familiar to you? It was in the same disc that Final Fantasy VII demo was.
The only thing that kind of reminds me of that is maybe Chrono Cross.
It might have been that.
Because I know Chrono Cross came around a similar time, but I can't remember if
it was turn-based and everything, which like now is so grueling to go back and do that. Like,
especially. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I know.
But yeah, because people forget in old Final Fantasy games, like up until probably like 9 or 10, like there wasn't like the enemy didn't wait. Like you had to input yourself. Like they were still hitting you. Like wait, why this? Yeah.
Well, you could pause it. Like,
that's all you could do. Like if you weren't
wait.
paying attention, they would just keep hitting you. Oh man, but yeah, my fondest memories, like my dad would play it. My dad and uncle would play it.
He played Final Fantasy VII?
So I would watch him.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dog, this story is amazing. Because like,
how old were you? Because the story is super convoluted.
The story, honestly, the story isn't that like tight.
It's weird.
It's not that tight of a story. Weird. Like, well,
it took me a long time to remember it. I thought you were going to quiz me, which is why I watched the whole thing.
So he's a human, but he's also an experiment.
Yeah.
But is he an alien? Like it was like it's really
Yeah.
Is the cat a robot or not? Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's all weird. But yeah, I just remember him playing it. But I was like, I didn't know the full story, but I got invested in the character. And like, come on, Cloud's like the coolest dude ever.
He's so badass.
Like typical '90s
Such
emo, grudgy, spiky hair,
he's
big
asshole,
sword.
Like big.
Oh,
asshole.
he's not the greatest.
Like he's like, why am I here? I hate everyone.
I'm here
why
for
am
the
I doing
money.
This?
That is it. I'm here for the money, and that is it. So, but I just remember watching, and I feel like if we're gonna talk about it, we should just go and talk about it. Spoiler alert! If you never played the game, just know that we're about to spoil it. We're about to spoil it.
Or the remake. I don't know.
Yeah. The remake's different because like things change.
Yeah.
But we're just talking the original game. Spoil it. I'll never forget. I went to sleep the night before, and I forgot where he was. But everybody was fine, and I woke up the next day, and my dad was like, "Ares is dead, man." And I said, "Wait, what?"
Oh my God! You didn't even see it.
I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, Ares died." I was like, "What do you mean she died?" Like, yeah, Sephiroth just
like a real person. You're like a real person.
Dog, I was like, "Yo, what do you mean?"
When did this happen?
Dog, he's like, "Yeah, he stabbed her." And I was like, "Wait, what do you mean? Like he just walked up on her?" Like, nah, he just gracefully fell from the sky. I was like, "What do you mean? Where was Cloud at?" Oh man, I lost it, bro.
Oh my
I lost it.
gosh,
Like,
you didn't even see it, which would have been 10 times worse. But still, like,
yeah, which might have been a good thing. Cause
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, traumatization, like.
Now eventually I did get to see it because like he had like a save beforehand.
Oh my god, so he did it again?
So he was like, yeah, and I was like, I just gotta see it. And I was like, oh man, I was like, we gotta go get him now, man. we get in the airship and go get this dude. Like this ain't gonna work for me, man.
Oh yeah.
So like that's like one of the biggest moments of like any game has
anything that any ever comes up. Like that is you played this character. Like it was so ingenious. It was like you played her. You're like, oh, there's no way she's gonna die because she's part of your party. Like
right, and
that doesn't happen.
They don't. And up until that point, they really weren't killing like main characters. Like you could say she was like a number 2 or number 3.
Yeah,
you could say that honestly. So you're like, oh, she got all her weapons.
You have all these things.
It's like, dang, we got all her limit breaks already. That's weird.
What? She's pretty powerful already.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Oh, she got all my magic on there.
Oh,
like,
healing.
Oh my god.
All of her limit breaks are healing. How do you fucking heal everybody?
It's like, bro, like you used to heal and win. Oh, we good now. All gone in an instant.
Yes.
On a dude I looked up to.
I know.
Oh, the silver hair with the black clothes with all the belts and shit.
And you're kind of made to idolize him at some extent because Cloud did. There's that whole flashback scene where he's in the truck and you get to play him. I loved when Final Fantasies did that.
God.
They did it in a few others too. I think you do it with Seymour and 10.
Yeah.
He's in your party and he's just like, bam, and the thing just dies and you're like,
this is fun. I was like, I wonder when he'll join my party. He
Uh-huh.
won't because he's a dick.
Because you will kill him. Because he will try to kill you.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The biggest thing for me that really gripped me about, because I'll be honest with you, I love the fact that you learned about it in that way and like it was like part of your childhood like that. I didn't like Aerith the first time I played it.
Okay.
I like Tifa more, and so I was like, yay! Now Cloud and Tifa can be together.
Oh shit.
So I had like that exact opposite. I mean, now when I play it,
right,
and I played like, not to mention some other spin-off games that were absolutely atrocious. Yeah. But like learning about Zack and all that stuff, like it was very touching.
Did you not like?
No, I liked Crisis Core. I did not like Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh, that was awful. That was awful.
Horrendously,
bad.
They
could have made that better.
Yes.
Cool character, and they just ruined it.
I know, because Vincent was such a cool character. You just like, he's down to cough, and he's like, hey, let me sleep.
Bro wasn't even an actual character in the game. Like, you can play the whole game without ever seeing him. I know, yeah. But he got his own spin-off, and y'all messed it up.
Same thing with Yuffie, right? You can play the whole game without her.
Yeah.
No, so that, I mean, was touching to me, but something that gripped me so much about that game, because what's always weird about video games is that these people literally have, like, horseshoe hands now. Yeah. But we thought it was so realistic, which is weird, because humans never had horseshoe hands, so I don't know why. Like, that concept always, like, throws me off.
But see, it's a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's a time capsule, because in 96, you, like, because you get distracted by the actual CGI stuff.
Yes.
When they do, like, the cinematic movies.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
Breathtaking.
Because you're like, that's a whole city.
Yeah.
That's a whole city.
Yeah.
And
it's a movie.
And they're like, oh man, how they do that? And then like, yeah, but it's weird. Like you get the little small like sprite.
Dude, but it still didn't bother me.
Oh.
They all go inside the same dude and walk around. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
You just accept it and move on.
Yeah, like they're inside him, whatever.
But at that time, like that game, no matter what people say, like there could be better Final Fantasy games, there could be better RPGs at the time or have gone on since. That game basically put JRPGs on the map.
Absolutely.
Because like, oh, look what we can do in this span of time if we have engaging characters and a story that people invest in. So it's like,
for me, it was the fear factor.
Yeah.
It scared me.
Yeah.
Like the first time you go into everything's fine. I understand like, oh, we're going on a mission. We're like terrorists basically, and we're doing this thing, which is fine because we're the good guys. Like these people are polluting the earth. Blah blah blah. You get into Shinra, and they're experimenting on things, and you're walking around, and you're like, why is this alien in here?
Yeah.
Then you go back, why is this alien gone, and there's blood streaks all over the floor, and he's dragging his mother's head? I was like, chilled to the bone when I still like, oh my god, like, and just side note, the remake did that for me. There were some scary parts where I was like, this is great. Like, that's what I wanted back in the music. That dun, dun, dun.
But
like,
it's it's like how they made that. First of all, we need to drink this wine. Okay,
yes,
hold up. Let's sniff.
Hold on. There's a waxy in mine.
Oh, is it?
I'll just drink it. I don't care. I'll get it out at some point.
I was like, I don't think that's safe.
I don't know. Ooh, it's very potent.
It is.
All right.
All right, you ready?
This better be good.
I hope so.
I'm just saying. Whoa.
That's different.
Do you like it?
That's different. No, see. So here's the thing
you have
about
to
Riz.
sit on it for a bit.
Here's the thing about Riz. It's different.
It's not like a normal red.
It's
for
not.
Sure. It is sweet.
It is sweeter. Wow. Hold on.
There's some type of fruit coming at me.
Let's see what it says.
I don't think it says anything, unfortunately. I was looking at it. I think it's
doesn't.
like apple.
It says nothing. It just says red table wine. That is sick.
Which, like, table wine, like...
What kind of description is
you
this?
just sit it on the table, don't look at it.
I mean, it's got 13.5 alcohol content, so I'm a fan of that. Wow.
Is it apple? Is it... I mean, I know it's not apple, but, like, it's not your normal grapey
What
fruity.
What is Grenache?
Grenache.
It sucks. I took 3 years of French.
Can we Google it? I took 3 years of French, too. I don't remember anything.
Okay,
It was in high school.
I know very basic.
It was in high school. My boyfriend was on the football team, which was weird. And he would go bonjour instead of bonjour.
Oh, so he was just like...
That's not Tommy, if you were wondering.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. What is the translation for Grenache?
Apple is La Pomme.
According to Wikipedia, Grenache or Garnacha is one of the most widely planted red wine grape varieties in the
Okay,
world.
so it is a grape. I mean, it was a grape.
Okay.
But they put other fruits in it sometimes, right? Like other notes.
Or maybe it's just all grape. That's crazy.
It's good.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I like it.
That's not bad. It's worth the money. So
It is.
that's good.
Yes.
That's...
I didn't even look at the price. This was $43, just FYI.
Yeah, that's...
And it's not like I'm being like bougie or anything, but I saw 7 and we were talking about how we wanted to talk about it, and I was like, I have to get it.
So, 2 things. I was telling Cassie that she got 7 wine. We were talking about Final Fantasy VII, and she's a 7th guest on the show. So that it's just fate. Number 2, I was trying to figure out what to wear, and so I was like, "This is old," but I was like, "I don't care. It's Final Fantasy VII," so I had to do it.
Yep.
But getting back, the remake did a good job. I was nervous about the remake because they were changing.
Weren't we all?
Everybody was, but it was just the fact that they were changing the battle system. So I was like, well, how's materia gonna work? Am I gonna be able to do this? Am I still gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I was
the
worried.
nostalgia factor was so heavy for everyone.
Right.
I felt like there were even translation because it was, and I think you probably already know this.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
But the original Japanese script, like the story altered a little bit, like the whole Zack thing. But there were some there were even parts where they translated badly, and I wanted them to keep it in that
Sometimes it's a charming thing to keep in the game.
But the materia system,
I was nervous, and I was just like, so I knew they weren't gonna be able to do the whole game in one because they'd already established we're not gonna do that. So where are you gonna cut off? What liberties are you gonna take?
Yes.
Where, who am I gonna be able to play with during the game? But they found a way to not only appease to the people who played the game previously and hit us with all these nostalgia things and improve the music somehow.
Yes. Oh my God, the
somehow,
records that you get.
I don't understand how they pulled that off, but they
amazing.
did. But they also made a game where if you've never played it before, you can hop right in, and it's just a whole.
You don't
new
have
experience.
to understand anything.
Nothing.
They explained the story better than they did in the original.
They
added some stuff.
I was slightly upset at first when I was like, okay, first begin the game. Oh, why am I meeting Sephiroth within the first 30 minutes of this game? I was like, that's weird. But as the story went on, I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
Everyone knows who he is, right? They played Smash, they played other stuff.
Yeah,
they're like, we know who that guy is.
Kingdom Hearts, I know who this dude is.
Yes.
I know I'm dealing with a problem. But it's cool. It's cool because you get that, and then just the way it ended.
Which I don't know.
I've been waiting to talk to somebody about this because I'm like, what did it mean? Does it mean that they're going into an alternate reality? Because Zack is clearly alive. in this thing, he's alive. Aerith is not dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, she ain't dead yet anyway, so.
Right.
But still.
So it's like, what?
But she had a feeling. What was so cool about that was she had a feeling that she was gonna
like
die.
it was like she's like, listen, whatever has to be
It's
done
like
has
she
to be
knew,
done.
And you know what? Looking back on that, like I told you, I skipped through the original game today because I was like, I just want to watch all of it. And I have another like pop question for you about it, about your choices in it, because there were some really cool choices you could make that could affect certain games in that game, even way back when. She's so peaceful when she dies. She looks surprised, but at the same time, she
always had an inkling that this would have to be done. You know, like even like in the original game, like she says things like
it makes me
she
wonder.
runs, turns back, says something, and just runs off. Like, you know, it's like she kind of knew that
she's not human. She's
not. She's an ancient. You know what I'm saying?
She's
so
an
it's
alien,
like
basically.
Yeah.
That part really hit me, like in the new one, and I liked the way that they explained. Like, I really liked that room in Shinra where, like, you got to see every
it was like a museum type thing.
Yes,
That was really cool.
That was very cool.
That was really cool. And a lot of people wouldn't, like, go through it. I went through everything. I was like,
too.
Let me just see. It's just cool to see. Did you see the Final Fantasy X sneak in there?
I vaguely remember. Remind me.
So apparently in Final Fantasy X, there's, you know, the Albed or whatever.
Yeah.
So in there, there's a dude. He says, I want to work on, you know, taking the planet's energy and, like, using it to food Earth. And the dude's name is Shinra. And if you go into the picture, he's in the picture.
From 10-2, Shinra.
He's in the picture. I'm like,
that
is sick. Yeah. I'm like, oh. So does that mean that 10 actually happened before Final Fantasy VII? That's weird.
Because Xanarkand was very technologically savvy. And I always was wondering that. By the way, I know we're deviating from 7, but
Final Fantasy is just a broad. Yeah, for
but
sure.
I figure we get into other ones. But like 10 was like one that I really connected with. I played it when it came out. It was new.
Yeah.
That was the first time I like caught on and was like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Because I played 8 and 9. I actually didn't play 9 till way later.
That's Tommy's favorite, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
and it's great. It's absolutely great.
8's a jumbled bag.
Don't know what the hell happened to the story. It was fun.
8 is a jumbled bag.
It was the first one I played with the intention of like, I'm playing a Final Fantasy VII. Or I'm playing a Final Fantasy game because I played Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And then 8 came out and I remember it being like, whoa. The people are
different.
normal size.
Yeah.
They don't have horseshoe hands.
Yeah.
They look cool.
So now they're just expanding. That story is weird.
Yes, it
that
is.
Story is
I
weird.
still don't understand it. I actually bought it again on the Switch to try to replay it, and
it's tough.
What was cool is that you can fast forward through the turn-based combat.
Oh, cool.
Which I like because now I'm playing it more for the story to try to figure out what the hell happened.
Yeah, no, it's.
But
cool.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. Like that's some kind of weird mythology with all the Final Fantasies. It's like you're supposed to detach yourself from the previous story, but even though there's gonna be nuances. There's gonna be chocobos. There's gonna be summons. There's gonna be. There's
always gonna be something from everyone in each one. Like there's always gonna be Bahamut almost,
or a person that's named the same thing.
Sid is always there.
He was my favorite. By the way.
Sid, Wogs, really.
Weirdly, Sid Highwind is like one of my favorite. And I feel bad saying that because he's such an awful person.
He's kind of problematic.
He's very misogynistic.
He's kind of problematic.
As an adult, I'm like, I hate you now.
Yeah, it's kind of
but
bad.
I liked him when I was younger because he used to just like cuss and say all this awful shit. And he was supposed to be an astronaut. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, he's awful now. Yes.
But we'll see how they do him in later installments. They might change him up.
Yes. I hope that they're more... That's the thing is that something, like especially jumping over, but like... Me watching Buffy, like, there's all this really weird... Like, they had a cultural party. It was literally a cultural appropriation party. And I was like, eh. So they have the chance to, like...
They can change
some of this stuff.
So, we are jumping around.
Sorry.
we are jumping around. But that's an interesting... Because I talk to people about this a lot. And it's like... Is there a way to acknowledge that things in the past... We're wrong, but we're also a figment of the environment that we lived in, while not canceling them, but also not glorifying the behavior in what they were doing.
Yeah, because you can't go back in time and go, guys, this is fucked up.
Yeah, and it's like, so just a smaller example. It's a very small example. Pepe Le Pew. got into the N-word song.
Yeah.
For years, I'm like, dog, Pepe Le Pew, if he was a person,
Yes.
is sexual harassment. That's basically what he would be, him and Johnny Bravo. They would both be just like walking sexual harassment.
There's the wax.
You found it.
I didn't need it.
That's good. I was really nervous. But it's like, they want to like never have him in it. Just change his character. That's it. Instead of having him always just like, assaulting her, have him just pine for her.
And you don't have to explain it. You just have to do it.
That's it.
Like, just do it and say, look, I've grown up, I understand now, and I'm going to fix it by doing this. Like,
that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to remove everything from him. You got to understand that, unfortunately, a lot of things were allowed.
Yep. And don't delete it. We need to see it.
Right.
But
so people can learn. So people can learn from these situations.
I mean, it depends on what the thing is, right?
Right. There are certain things you just can't. We have to just get rid of it.
There are things that need to be destroyed.
For sure.
Statues.
Yeah.
Or other things. But, like, with shows and with that kind of stuff, like, it's hard to do that, really.
Right.
Because it's imprinted in people's childhood, their memories. Like, we remember Arnold. We remember... Right. Speaking of which, Arnold was pretty damn good about stuff like that. Always. Arnold. There was the one roommate... The one roommate.
Which one?
Wasn't that great. Was a very strange...
Mr. Kakashi? Yeah, he had a bad gambling problem.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And was a liar.
Yes.
And a lot of things.
Which was very heavy, again. But now I feel like cartoons, there's some great, like, Adventure Time. There are other cartoons that just, like... Yeah, we have...
They do a really good job.
We have gay characters. We have transgender characters.
Steven Universe does a good job.
And we're just not gonna... We're not gonna, like, make a big deal out of it. This is reality.
This is life.
And that's why, circling back, I love Star Trek so much. Because, strangely, there were a lot of mess-ups in the original. But in TNG and DS9, and especially Discovery, the newest one, there are just non-binary characters. And it's like, yeah, this is the future. We all exist. Like, we existed before. But now everyone is cool about it. Right. Which is great. And, like, look at the world that we've made. Like... That is cool.
I just think it's important for people to understand that these are still people. Yeah. And so, just let them live, man. If it's not impending or impeding on, like, you personally, let them live their life, man. Yeah. That's it. That's all they're asking. That's all people are asking, just let them live their life. And that's it. Let them live their true selves and just stay out the way. That's all it is. But people have a hard time of... You know,
they really do.
They have a hard time of dealing with that issue.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna take a pause so I can change a battery.
Okay.
Stupid. All right, we back. You want to swing back to Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah, that's right. You did have a question for me.
Because I was just getting to this part. Because obviously this hopefully isn't a spoiler at this point.
I mean, we've
kind of gotten run. Yeah, we've done everything that's big, right? At this point. So there's like approval points that you can get. Yes, please. I love that stuff. Approval points you can get with the girls.
Yeah. Well, the girls and
Barrett.
Yeah.
Especially for Gold Saucer, but playing it because I've played it like. I mean, I played it like 10 times at this point. Like, if you like Final Fantasy, you are addicted. And you play all of them, and you have your favorites and your least favorites. I do. And I'll kind of get into that, too. I want to know what your other ones are.
Okay.
But that scene where they're on the High Wind, and they're about to go to the final battle. Like, Meteor is, like, right, coming down, which is also terrifying. It was kind of like that Majora's Mask thing where the moon... Like, you're literally going... Oh, I know. You're literally going over the Earth, and you see this meteor coming down as you're doing other stuff, and so you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I really have to save the world. Yeah. But everyone... Tifa goes, all of you go and, like, be with your loved ones and go do something one last time, and if you don't want to come back, that's okay, which was weird for her to say, because it's like, I think you need everyone.
I was like, Charlotte, we've been through too much now. Like, at this point, we're all here now.
But she was like, go, and then her and Cloud are there by themselves, and then they're, like, sitting on the ground underneath the high wind. Yeah. Did they have sex?
Because
she goes, I rewatched it, and there's one with an approval rating, if you have an approval rating of 50 or higher, I don't know how the points work.
Yeah.
You get a certain dialogue.
Yeah.
And then if you get lower, you get
a different
one. And the first one goes, you know, Cloud, there are different ways to tell people you love them aside from talking to them. And then it like fades to black. And then the second one goes, I'm going to go to bed. And it's like, okay, bye. And then they awkwardly go to sleep.
So I'm thinking, I mean, probably. Because the only
it's the end of the world. That's what everyone does in all those games, right?
I mean,
like in
listen,
movies and everything.
If it's possibly your last day, I mean...
Yeah.
I think, the only reason I'm saying that is because, like, in the remake, right, there's a scene where, like, they go into, it's either his or her room, and she comes out and she starts, like, fixing herself up, and I'm like, I mean, Cloud, good for you, buddy.
Yes!
Like, good for you.
What do you not see? I'm so mad at him.
No, he is the worst. Like, we said it before, like, he's only about money.
Yes,
like,
literally.
I ain't got
don't
time
get
for the women.
What?
Question. In the remake, we went from a triangle to a square. We all know about Eris. We all know about Tifa. I loved everything they did with Jessie.
Yeah, she was adorable.
She may have been my favorite character.
She's precious. I actually like Barrett like 10 times more than I liked the original with this one.
Well, he's not
so
Mr.
goofy.
T anymore now.
Yes.
So that's also great.
Exactly. And he's like goofy and like more like I love that part where they're like going across the fan. I like all this commentary where he's like they're going across the fans and they're like edging up on the thing and he's like yeah, it's not scary. It's like scary for your skinny ass or something like that. And he's like terrified of falling. Okay, yeah, Jessie. I loved her story. I love the fact that they went into depth because I'm thinking like I knew where they were going to end. I just knew. I was like, okay, they're going to end at the first CD.
Right.
That makes sense.
It made the most sense. Yeah.
And they did. And I was like, that makes total sense. Cool. I'm so pleased with that. I was like, but how are they going to make this into a full-fledged game? Because the first CD was like an hour and a half.
Like they had to stretch. So
I was like, what's going to happen?
A lot of side quests.
Yes.
That weird ghost train thing.
I loved that too.
People
it was weird.
hated that.
I loved
People
it. I thought
hated
it was
that.
so cute.
I thought it was iffy. I was like, I liked it because of the whole like Tifa Ares thing where they both grab one like we're fighting over this guy, and Cloud's like, please get off of me.
And I'm like, what is wrong with you? You could have had a threesome.
Like,
what is wrong with you?
They're
like best friends.
That's what you want, buddy.
Oh my God!
That's what you want,
stupid
buddy.
are you?
Cloud.
Yes, but which is why I love him though. He's so cute. I like the ghost thing. Jessie's side quests were adorable. I love they brought character and they fleshed out her family.
I like the thing with her
Wasn't
dad.
her family her dad was like in a coma or something?
Yep. Like he was sick.
Was Cloud sneaking in the room while he was in a coma? That was so
I don't
weird.
think he was in the room.
Okay,
but
I
do
it
think
was a while
he had,
since I played it.
I do think he was like.
Could you
sick or
imagine if he was in the room and he's like, dude, like sneaking around the room while her dad's
Don't
in
worry,
there?
he can't hear you. I'm not gonna lie. So again, spoilers. So it was Biggs, Wedge, and Jessie. So like Biggs isn't the big dude. Wedge is the big dude.
Wedge is the big dude.
So Wedge.
Biggs and Wedge are also from Star Wars, by the way.
Yeah. So Wedge is still alive. No. Yeah, Wedge is still alive, but I felt like he got pushed out of like a window. But that's what was supposed to happen, normal. But I feel like when we
his little fat pixel body just falls.
But at the end, he's still there.
Uh-huh.
And then at the end, when Biggs is still alive.
Yeah.
Because he's like in the bed. I'm like, all right, so are we in alternate reality? But what pissed me off is like, why did you kill off Jessie? I was mad. I was like,
it's because everyone loved her. I think it's part of that factor,
right?
Like they're like, they needed something. I think the reason they did it was because you already know Eris is going to die.
So they had to do a bait and switch.
So they were
but
like let's find something that really hooks the generation that played this for the first time. They wanted to surprise us, and I appreciate that.
They got me.
Yeah, like that was. I think that's part of it.
But it's like I knew she would die, but I didn't think I would. I didn't feel bad the first time.
Yeah, because you didn't know who she was.
Right.
You knew her for like 15 minutes. You didn't care.
I knew too much, and this man.
That's what they did. They knew
they
could
do it. You owe me a pizza.
They knew.
Man, if you don't get that girl a kiss and move on, man, so she can die happy.
So cute.
Oh, damn, fist bump.
I really did. That was really cheesy. Yep. That Japanese, like, cordiality, like, let's be friends.
I was sad, man.
Wedge was cute. I love, he was precious. I really like the way they animated these side characters.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to see what they do with... I loved what they did with Scarlet.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I can't wait to see the slap fest between her and Tifa.
They have
where
to have
they
the slap fest, right?
slap
They
each
have
other.
to have it.
Like, we gotta do
They
that.
have to have it.
And Gold Saucer. There's so many good...
Oh, Gold Sauce is gonna be so fun, man.
Like, okay. The Honeybee Inn was so well done.
They nailed it.
That was so good. And, like, they had a dance sequence, like a DDR, like Sora in The Little Mermaid. Like, they did it, and it worked.
I would have never guessed I would love that as much as I did.
It was so
I
fun.
loved it.
It
I was
like
like, I have to get
Drag
back.
Race. It was like...
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It was fabulous, and I was very concerned. I thought they were gonna... Again,
Yeah.
they acknowledged things, and they didn't make it weird or stupid or stereotyped. They were like, yeah, Cloud's in a dress. This is fucking awesome. He looks so cute. And it was just so well done. And, oh, God, there's so many moments like that are coming up.
Yeah.
That I'm like, what are they going to do about this? What are they going to do about Costa del Sol when Hojo's on the beach tanning?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do about...
There's so many things that they have to...
That weird part where Sephiroth is in... This part always makes me laugh. Because I was rewatching it, and there's a part where they're in... One of my favorite sections of the whole game to play through is Nibelheim.
Yeah.
When you go to the mansion, and Vincent's in the basement, and you go into the research area, and you realize, oh, wow, like, spoiler alert,
Yeah.
that I still say Mako. I didn't know it was Mako. I always thought it was Mako.
I
Did you say Mako before?
Here's the thing, it's like there was no
like
voice
it's
acting.
like
There was
Hermione
no
or
voice
Hermione.
acting.
Like,
Yeah,
no one
exactly.
knows. Did you say Mako before?
I used to say Mako.
I said Mako. And so, like, you realize that they're being injected with Mako cells or whatever. And Sephiroth's down there for a second, and then he's like, ha ha ha, and then he, like, spirals and shoots out of the room. Like
the
what are they
little
gonna
spin.
do?
Like, yo,
Yeah.
what are you doing? I assume he's just going to float.
I hope they still do something weird, but one of my favorite characters in that game, who I want to get a tattoo of,
Yeah.
Genova.
Okay, yeah.
I love Genova. I think she's so scary.
Yeah.
She's so cool. It's weird. It's cool that there's like an alien in
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, because I feel like Final Fantasy is normally so... There's like a magic camp. Like there's like Lord of the Rings, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And then there's like Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like what I loved about Final Fantasy, what I've always loved, is that they combine sci-fi with fantasy.
Yeah.
Right? There's like magicians and wizards, but then there's also technology.
Yeah. They really use technology well.
Yes. They did a
Like,
great
really
job.
well.
And I love that the whole story was about like the world being destroyed by technology.
It was essentially about technology and pollution.
Yeah. And that was the most
Yeah.
simple thread that they brought together with this great, sometimes very convoluted ass story. I'm going to tell you that it took me, I still don't even know if I understand the whole Zack thing. Like Zack,
The original Zack thing, or like
I don't, that's the thing, is that there's like there's different stories, right? So like what I understand is Zack was a soldier. He was Cloud's friend.
Yep.
He was Aerith's boyfriend.
Correct.
And Aerith remembered. Actually, I thought, and I remember the first time I played it, and I didn't know who Zack was, because he's in it. I don't even. He's
Because
in it.
you have to get like a special. You have to do special things to actually get that backstory.
Yes, because he's in it for like maybe 5 minutes if you
Yeah.
don't play the rest of the game. And
Right.
so you're like, so I thought her boyfriend was Sephiroth, and I was like, whoa.
That would, yeah.
That's who I thought she was talking about
Right.
at first. Because he knew her.
Right.
But I guess the fact that like Cloud's memories are bleeding into Zack's because they were friends, but then they were also experimenting on at the same time. They have the same like mother with the same
Yeah.
cells, and so that's kind of what I understand.
So,
I don't know if there's any. I don't know what else there is.
So I think all that is there. I also think it's just a traumatic experience of watching him die.
Mm-hmm.
And so like as he goes up to him, he's like, and he tells him like he's having this like very traumatic situation right
Yeah.
now, watching like his I guess his only friend die right now.
He literally his only friend
And
because he
his-
sucks at people.
Yeah. And then his friend is just like, yo, like carry on my legacy. And then whatever happened at that moment, he just switched.
Yeah.
That's when he just became Cloud,
Yeah.
the first class soldier, when he wasn't.
Yeah.
But somehow he got really
He
good.
sucked.
Because he got really good.
He sucked.
Yeah.
And he sucked. He was like watching Sephiroth like fight all this shit and Zack fight all this shit, and he's like, I suck.
Yeah. He was like he was a regular infantry dude, just like one of the dudes you would like kill in the first minutes of the game.
Yeah. And the great thing about Zack too was that he had personality. He was like pompous and funny and witty.
He was
and
cool.
Cloud had no personality. He was just
His personality
cool.
was just this.
But so for some reason it works. Like it's so weird. It's like And he does have moments, like, that's the other moment that I'm trying to be like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
When they get to Gold Saucer and they do the performance on the stage and they're, like, spinning around, doing all the weird, like,
I mean, listen.
who gets Cloud to participate in this?
Listen,
it's Aerith. I mean, he...
Obviously.
Yeah, but still, like...
Listen, Cloud got in the dressing and was hitting dance moves. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's pretty fierce. Do you have okay, when you first played it, did you name everyone the right name?
So I changed a lot.
What did you do?
So originally, after my dad had played it the first time, he had named him Dark Knight because we're big Batman fans. So I played it again, I
which makes sense.
Yeah,
it's yeah.
Oh, Dark Knight. Now when I played it again, like as an adult, I just did everything that they were doing. Spiky hair guy, or Spiky, Mr. T.
I did Mr. T too.
Red Fox. Like, just different names, you know?
Red 13 is one of my favorites too.
Oh, he's a good character. You know what I like about this?
And the remake was so good, because it was like, he's like this mystical being, but he's like a kid still. And it was cute.
I like that in just in the original game, and hopefully the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That, you know, they give time to each character.
Yes.
Like, they had their own section.
I mean,
Barrett, when Barrett's going to fight Dean, oh, come on. That's going to be fun.
I just rewatched that, and I forgot that he jumped off a cliff.
Oh, yeah, he just basically committed suicide.
Like, because I remember you fighting him, and I remember Scarlet being there, and blah-de-da, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I rewatched it, because I was like,
yeah,
I don't think that's another big monumental thing that happened in the game, is a guy just killed himself.
Yeah.
Like,
because I guess at that point, he was like, listen, he got tricked, right? I think that was the story. He got tricked into believing something.
Mm-hmm.
That it was him.
Everyone believed that Shinra had a certain,
And then, I mean, because he's watching Marlene. I mean, because that's the thing. A lot of people, like, Marlene's not really his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, it's Dean's daughter, but, like, he's just watching her. But now, like, that's basically his daughter now.
Yeah. But that's the great thing about Barrett, is, like, also a black character in a Japanese RPG in 1997 who is nurturing and caring for a child. Like, I will disregard
the Mr. T references.
No, I can't forgive that. But I can't forgive that. No, I mean in 13, which is
you hate that game, right?
I abhor that game with every fiber of my being.
But why though?
Okay.
Because it's a common thing. It's a common thing that
for
people
me,
don't like.
the voice acting I could not get over. Okay. And that's not to say that the voice actors weren't good. Like, I completely commend voice actors. I know, like, I would love to be one.
Right.
Tommy and I did some little, like, Magic the Gathering voice acting thing one time, and it was really fun.
You did the voiceover for, what's it called? The Whisper thing.
Yes, I love doing it.
Thank you again in person now.
Thank you. It was so fun. I'm so excited to be able to do that, because I haven't gotten to do, like, acting stuff in a while. But, there are lines in that. Oh, God.
I'm gonna get it. Just keep
okay,
on.
it's not waxed.
Nah.
There is a line in that.
It's not waxed. Yeah, no, it's fine.
But we didn't have a wax issue, so.
No.
There are lines in that I cannot forgive. There is one, and James Murray knows this because we talk about it all the time. At the very beginning of the game, I didn't even get to, like, the other parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's this woman, she's about to die, she's, like, hanging on the cliff, and it's, like, really intense, and she goes, "Moms are tough!" And then she just lets go, and I'm like,
what?
That's the line. She goes, "Moms are tough." And then
what is this from?
Final Fantasy 13.
When does that happen?
It happens. It is. You can YouTube Google it. I'm gonna make you watch it afterwards. And I was laughing. Also, that one girl who's
when
like
does that happen?
It's at the very beginning of the game, which is why I didn't play the whole rest of the damn game. There's also the girl that you start playing Vanilla or
Vanille. Oh, you hate
Vanilla? Yeah. Yes, I hate her. She's like a teenager, and she's like going through the game, and she's jumping over shit, and she's like, And I know anime, like, if you're not watching it, you think someone's watching porn. Like, I can't watch Sailor Moon without someone thinking I'm watching porn, because, like, the noises.
Right.
But it got to the point where I was like, oh my god, shoot me. Like, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And I was so excited about it because the battle system was, revamped. The battle system was fun. The combat was fun.
I thought it was interesting just having
the
different
story
six
was
different
so
like
fucking weird. The fact that you have to start a game and tell me what's going on in the world for the first hour and a half is what really pissed me off. You like Star Trek, like Star Wars, like any other good story.
Show me without telling me.
Jump me into the story and teach me about the story and what's happening without explaining it to me. That's what pissed me off, and I'm sorry I'm jumping around again. I've had a bit of wine.
No, it's fine.
Avatar, The Last Airbender movie. He looks so mad. Don't hurt me. Abhorrent. Because they did the same thing. They told the story the entire time. But think about it. That's part of it, right? That's part of it, right? They told the story from the get-go. Like, there's literally parts where they're doing stuff, and they could have just shown me what was happening. It was like common denominator storytelling that was not done. And that is why I hate Final Fantasy XIII. That's why I hate it.
So...
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Avatar,
I brought it up, went to a whole different situation.
Avatar: The Last Airbender was very popular in my house growing up.
It's so good.
Great show.
Great show.
So when the movie came out, my parents were like, "Oh, let's take the kids to go watch." I'm in college at this point, but like, let's go take them.
Yeah, I went and
To
saw
go
it. I went.
see-
And, my little brother is, and we are 5 or 6 years apart. My little
Right.
sister and I are 10 years apart.
Hmm.
We used to watch it together, so we all went to see it.
So we go to see it, and a normal family would have just been like, "Let's just watch it in just regular standard definition." No, my parents wanted to watch it 3D.
Oh God,
So
I
we
would have
paid
thrown
extra,
up.
paid extra money for it.
Sorry.
When I tell you, I left that theater pissed. I'm like, this is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, dog,
Talk about cultural appropriation.
we're not even getting into the whitewashing that they did.
Yes.
We're not even touching that part of the
Yeah, don't even have to get to it because
Just how do you take a story that is so easy to tell
yes.
and just completely flub it? Like how do you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
That was the exact thing. Was that they didn't allow the story to tell itself.
Oh, it was
That
it
is
was
what
so
you
bad.
do.
It was so bad.
Even my little brother was like, my brother was like maybe 14 or 15 at the time we went and saw it, and he looked at me and he was like, "Cassie, this ain't good." And I was like, I know.
Really bad. And I just know they would, he was ready to just make this like a long 3 movie.
Shamalama ding dong.
I hate him so much.
He made enemies that day. He made enemies that day.
Like, he could have left that alone. Leave that property alone for somebody else. You want to do all that twisty
Aren't they
bullshit.
redoing it? I've heard.
I think so. I think they're doing I think it's a TV series though. I think
Okay.
is what they're doing, which is fine. I think
It's
they're
such a
actually doing
beautiful
something where they're
TV
mixing
show.
both Katara and Aang,
Okay.
which would be kind of cool. I think.
You mean Korra?
Korra, I'm sorry.
I love
Where am I getting
Korra.
Katara from?
Well, Katara and Aang, yes.
Yeah,
but Korra is
that's
the
what I mean.
show.
Korra,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think they're trying to do something with both of them.
Okay.
There are a lot of shows where I'm like, they're doing like remakes of live action, like the Cowboy Bebop one that's coming soon. I am
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm
That anime
iffy.
is incredible. Speaking of anime stuff, like, I don't watch a lot of anime.
Mm.
I watch specific anime.
Yeah.
Like, I'll find someone that has good taste,
Yeah.
and I will watch whatever they're watching.
Okay.
And not to say anime's bad taste, but there's a lot of younger anime that I just can't get into.
It's different. There's different sections, man.
And you gotta pick and choose like certain stuff. But there is incredible anime. Cowboy Bebop is one of them. Like, oh my god,
It's
breathtaking. I just finished watching. It wasn't the greatest, but I just finished watching Demon Slayer.
Okay. Yeah. That's on my list to watch.
And I
everybody
really
loves
liked
it. Yeah.
I really liked it. I like the fact that it just came out, and so I'm on the cusp of like waiting.
You're like,
it's kind of fun.
It's
Like,
fun
that
to be able
doesn't
to
happen a lot anymore.
anticipate something, right?
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
happen a lot anymore, especially since I've been watching a lot of 90s stuff.
Yeah.
But also it's cool to watch shows that are happening during COVID.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to see anything for this during COVID, but like, for example, like I watched RuPaul's Drag Race, stuff like that. Like, they are dealing with COVID at the
during
same
the
time.
Yep.
So it's very cool to see them kind of break through and be like, we're
And
still going
how
forward.
are they?
How are they dealing
So
with it?
we're doing that with just a small Top Chef.
Okay.
So Top Chef.
Which one? Okay, I've watched so many. Remind me which one's
Top Chef has the one with Padma on it. Padma, what is her name?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that show. So normally what happens in that show is like they all come in, they get in the house together, and they, when they do shopping, they actually go to the grocery store. But you can't do that with COVID.
Yeah.
So what they've done is they're all in a hotel. They have a hotel lobby that they own a hotel like guest thing. That they have. And instead of shopping, it's like Whole Foods,
Ordering.
what's called. So it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy to see how they what's called. But even other shows like cartoons, like Bob's Burger had an episode where someone got a virus or whatever,
Wow. Okay.
and so like they had to quarantine themselves. So it's just fun how they're attacking that certain topic without like pushing it in their face after it's been for a whole year. You know,
because it's interesting because cartoons don't have that issue.
Right.
Voice actors have a better
they
acclimation to this because they don't have to worry about having someone right in their face. Like
Right.
they, with RuPaul's Drag Race, they had a, so it was very interesting. With the newest season, or the UK, I watch all of them.
Yeah.
I watched the UK season, and it happened midway between the show.
Oh, wow.
And so they had an episode where Ru came on and said, "We have to stop production."
Damn.
And they're like, "Why?" And they're like, "Because of COVID." And it makes it so... Because this is our thing, right?
Yeah.
This is our generation's thing. Like, we've never had...
This is like
9/11 was kind of the first thing, I feel like, for us, for our age.
as kids,
And then now it's this, and so it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so then they come back, and I did an episode. I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch it, but they did an episode about them being in COVID, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't care. I want to watch the runways. Because that's the only part that I watched.
Just gonna skip
I
this.
speed through them, I'm like, I want to watch the runways. That's why I watched Top Model when I was younger, because I just wanted to watch all the costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
But they had plexiglass between all the judges.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is that they're all quarantined together now.
So it's gonna be cool. Like, well, I mean, it's gonna suck because we'll be older, but like, it's gonna be cool. Like years later, we're like, oh, let's go back and watch this, and it's just this time capsule of like this time that we were in. So we'll be like, oh yeah, remember we were quarantined for like a year and a half, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god! And there was an episode of Star Trek that I was watching.
Yeah.
It was TNG, and I'm gonna butcher the reference, so nobody kill me. But it was like Beverly Crusher, the Doctor, and Patrick Stewart and somebody else were talking, and she goes, "Well, remember back in 2020 or 2021, we hadn't really figured out quarantine logistics and stuff like that." And I was like,
that is sick.
Whoa, what? They're like talking about quarantining in the same time period, and I was like, this is so weird.
That's on some Simpsons shit.
Yes.
Oh,
Simpsons.
Yeah,
oh my god, and fucking Trump.
Oh my god.
Like them predicting Trump as the president. Like, what?
That's creepy.
You know what's scary? You know what's sad? Is that was supposed to be a joke.
But dog, that's the great thing is all those things are supposed to be joke, and they've been accurate a lot of the time. It's insane. Insane.
Oh.
It makes you feel like somebody else is like just controlling the world. Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean, aliens are real.
They're real. I believe my theory has always been that.
I love this stuff.
My theory has always been that we're just like we're a TV show for aliens. Like that aliens out in space just.
But they're like clicking buttons to decide what happens. Like at the end of Big Brother,
there's a producer. So they were just like, you know what? Let's just make Homeboy the president. Let's just see what happens.
Homeboy. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Let's just see what happens. Like, they got 4 seasons of a great show. They got 4 great seasons. Like, I mean, like, depending on what you want. You want a drama, you want a comedy. It was a dramedy. It was good for them. I mean, I'm sad it's over for them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't want them to like probe me or nothing, crazy shit like that.
They might already have.
I mean, they were like, you know what? Let's throw a little quarantine bullshit in there too. Like, dog, can you just have like a normal season?
It's not
for
enough.
Once?
There's gotta be. You gotta bunch everything in the same season.
But let's.
Yeah, this is wafting at me.
Yes.
I can smell this whole time.
It's a red wine blend.
Okay. What does that mean?
I think it's just a bunch of different things.
Okay.
Thrown together.
I believe you. You're.
I really need to start like research. I am not an expert.
You're gonna learn more, and then you're gonna have to change the name of the podcast.
I am never changing the name of the podcast. I feel like that'd be bad for branding. It's called Kaleidoscope. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I bought it because of the cover.
That's what I do.
It's just fun.
That's what you have to do. If you don't know what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Does it say what are we trying to detect here?
Oh man. Bing cherry and blackberry.
What's a Bing cherry? I feel like all the podcasts they watch, they're like Googling half the time. Like they just have to figure out what's going on.
I also feel like they do it beforehand.
I don't know.
What is a Bing cherry?
According to Wikipedia, Bing is a cultivar of the wild or sweet cherry that originated in the Pacific Northwest in Milwaukee, Oregon, United States.
Hey, at least she's being reliable to you. We have Google in our house.
This is Google.
We go, okay, Google, and we ask her stuff, and she'll go, I don't know about that. And I have to, like, yell. I yell bitch so many times in my house at my Google because she doesn't do shit that I tell her to do.
You know what I'm going to try to do soon? I also have Alexa in our house. I'm going to be like, hey, Alexa, have a conversation with Google. I just want to see what happens. And if something freaky happens, I'm throwing them away. So
it's very vibrant. Look
Bing,
at that.
Bing cherry, blackberry with notes of chocolate. So that
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be disappointed.
All right, let's...
Ooh, that smells good. It smells like icing. Doesn't it smell like buttercream icing? Am I...
Like a little, yeah.
Okay. Don't think about it, though. I just blew on it. I just went...
Why?
I don't know. It's like a birthday cake.
You said icing and immediately... What are you doing? All right, here we go.
Thank you. Wow.
That's good, man.
Just the right amount of sweet.
Dang, that's actually good, man.
Kaleidoscope. You know, I always look at the year and I'm like, how much does a difference does the age make?
I would love to.
You know what I mean?
Because
we've made our own beer before and aged it.
Yeah. Tell me more.
We made back at Randolph Macon, me, Justin, and the gang. We made apple oatmeal beer.
Okay.
Stout. And we bought a brewery kit.
Yeah.
And we aged it, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was extremely alcoholic. And while we made it, we were extremely intoxicated.
Nice.
To the point where, I don't know, you know Justin Knapp, right?
Yeah.
He's very chill about things. And we were doing it outside, and I was like, y'all are going to set our house on fire. And he was like, nah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And the whole time, he didn't. But I was really afraid we were going to set our house on fire. But I'm just curious, like, it's 2019, you know? Like, I just wonder.
It would be nice to know, like, what difference it makes. Mm-hmm. Is it something like, because sometimes liquors are like that, too. Like, oh, this has been in the aging in the barrel.
But I really haven't thought about it. Like, I just...
Yeah, I mean, because they all put the year on there.
Absolutely.
But is it the year of conception? Is it the year... You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's interesting.
And where they put it.
Yeah.
Like,
but that makes a difference, too, because apparently different soils, different things.
Mm-hmm. Or even where they age it, I mean. Like, in the basement. Like, what kind of light or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Only natural light has hit this one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that weird type of stuff.
It's been kissed by the sun and never a fluorescent light. This is delicious.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Okay, so you want to do more Final Fantasy stuff? We'll just do like rapid questions.
Yeah. I want to know who your favorite character is aside from Cloud. Or
okay.
I'm going too much.
No, it's fine.
From in 7.
Okay.
What's your favorite besides
character?
Cloud? It's hard.
I'm gonna be honest. It's Sephiroth. Cause like.
He's so sexy.
I mean that's why he was built that with the long flowing.
I mean, he didn't have a shirt on halfway through the whole game.
Come on, I know what that long sword really means. Come on, I know what's.
But I mean, not to be misogynistic, but well, never mind. No, a lot of girls do play that game. That's why.
Yeah. But Sephiroth, man, because he is. There's a lot of people like, oh, Sephiroth or Kefka. Now, fair. Kefka actually did do what.
Beautiful character.
Homeboy said, listen, I'm going to do this to the world. And he did it.
He did.
He did. Not in no other character, no other villain in Final Fantasy can say that they had a plan and they actually did
and
it.
very genderless, very like...
Yeah, he's very just like, I'm here.
Yeah, it was just great. Yeah.
But the thing about Sephiroth is, man, Sephiroth just had this aura about him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Kefka, the clown thing, you get it. You've seen the clown. Joker's a clown thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's a clown.
You know what I'm saying? You've seen it.
Yes.
Sephiroth just is something different about him.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And he's angry and he's like obsessed with his mom. Like an Oedipal complex.
Very vengeful.
Yeah.
Like,
intriguing.
I'm just going to create a new planet. Like, okay, buddy. All right.
Insane.
He had this aura. But I was
insane in like a way that's like normal feeling. Like it wasn't like a Kefka crazy.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Sephiroth. You?
I love Tifa.
I do too.
I was always
I
a Tifa girl.
do too.
I was always a Tifa girl. I always thought she was badass. I love the fact that she was just always punching.
Fisticuffs.
I thought that was dope. Like, I just love that about her. Secondary would be Red 13 for sure.
Okay.
I just really liked him. Genova's in a whole different like thing. I just but yeah. What about or you go. You gotta ask.
Okay. So you can't play Final Fantasy VII. Which other Final Fantasy you play?
That's hard. There's two that come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, I guess, is the one I have to pick, which is 12.
Okay.
12 was, which is funny because I had a very weird
12
relationship
is 12
with
is Van, right? Van is the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, who's stupid? No one cares about him.
No one does.
But that's what's interesting about it, right? Is that it was the
like
first,
the other characters are like.
It was the first Final Fantasy where it was like, choose your leader.
Yeah.
Choose whoever you want to be.
Right.
And for me personally, I would run around with Fran with like a fucking battle axe and be really badass. But it was cool because there wasn't one central leader.
Right.
It was a story about a group of people. And me being into Star Wars, it was very Star Wars-esque.
Yeah.
They were all the same, like, they were very similar. I mean, there was like the princess and the boy that was in love with the princess, but ended up being friends. And then there's the pilot with like Fran and Balthier, who were basically Han and Chewie. Like, it was the whole thing.
You can tell Final Fantasy's been inspired by Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely. And that's fine. And that's
cool. I like that, though.
Yeah. I think it's great for a story to be inspired by something, but to bring something different to the table instead of being a remake. Yeah. And I think that's what's really, that was really cool about that one. I remember when I watched the demo for it, though, I threw my controller at the TV because I was so mad. Because I was like, it was the first non-turn-based. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not my Final Fantasy.
I'm going to be honest. Until 13 came out, I was like, all right, I can come back for 13 because it was kind of similar. But when I was like, I can't play this, man.
Because 11 I'm so used was to online, so 10 was the last one we really had.
10 has the best battle system, by the way.
It was great. No, I love it. That was my second. That was the one I was going to say after that, because that was the one. I have like a lot of, I feel like people with Final Fantasy, their favorites sometimes come with, and this makes total sense with you, a real life scenario that's happening. Yeah. Like the fact that you have a nostalgic connection with your father and you playing that. With me, it was 10 because my cousin would come home from school and would watch me play 10 every day. And he would like say shit while I was playing. Sometimes it was really stupid, but like he was invested in the story. And he'd watch it like a movie. That's
basically what it was. Yeah. They played just like a movie. That's with the big boss battles, like you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
But what about you? What is yours aside from 7?
So it was definitely 10. 10 I had. So 7 I didn't get to beat until like later on in life. Because, like I said, I was young when it came out. Yeah. But 10 was the first one I was like, listen, I'm going to dive in and I'm going to play this from start to finish. And when I did it, I felt so accomplished.
Yes.
Because those games are like 50 hours.
That was the first one I beat all the way through.
You know what I'm saying? Because, man, like, besides that horrible laughing scene, oh my God, that is the worst thing ever. Because, like, it's the first voice acting thing. So it's like, oh, this is going to be great. And then it's not.
Yeah.
And it's not. And then Titus is kind of whiny too. Titus,
that's the other thing.
You said Titus, Titus.
I used to say Titus.
I say Titus
Kingdom Hearts said Titus, and I was like, "What the fuck's this?" Yeah, they just fucked up everything.
Put an E there. But like his character's whiny. But like I was invested, and then like the story and
the story was actually really unique. Like there really isn't anything like that.
I did enjoy that story a lot.
Yes.
So 10 would probably be my choice because that conditional turn based where you can like see like. Oh, but if I switch here, he's faster. I can get like 2 hits here.
What was also great about that was the first time I played it, I remember grinding a lot, and I really didn't have to. Like, I played it again. I've actually played it recently. I got all the way up to... The international version? I played the Switch one, which I guess is the international one. I suck at Blitzball. Will always suck at Blitzball.
Oh, yeah. I don't even try hard on that. I'm like,
but it was a cool idea.
Very cool. It's better than the... is it better than the card system in 8?
I like the card system. Tough. The card systems are so fun.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was you didn't... I don't know if this is part of the conditional thing you were talking about, and I felt kind of stupid, but like there would be moments where you had options to do different things. Yep. Like, for example, when you're freeing when Yuna first gets kidnapped by the owl bed,
Yeah.
and there's like a crane that you can use to kill the and do
Yeah.
like 1,000,000 fucking
Yeah.
damage to it.
Yeah.
There were those moments throughout the whole game where you
Yeah.
could like you use your environment to manipulate what was going on, and I
It-
thought that was really cool.
I definitely like the battle with Sin in the Sky,
Yeah.
where you had like you shoot the lasers or the missiles at him.
That
was
took
cool.
me the longest time to understand though.
You
When I
don't
was
even-
first playing it, I was like, I just keep dying.
You don't even understand. Like I was in the middle of that battle. My mom was like, "Yo, we gotta go." Like, excuse me?
No.
I was like, I can't save in this. I was like, too bad. I was like, all right, well, I'm leaving this on. I'm gonna play it when I get back. Like, cause
I used to do that.
kids don't understand.
No.
Like, there's none of that bullshit where you can like, oh, rest mode.
No.
We didn't have that.
No.
We didn't have that.
No.
You had a memory card, and you had to get to a safe point.
This
If you
reminds me
didn't,
of people
you had
being
to
like,
start over.
you had to walk 15 miles through the snow.
I sound like
you
Grandpa
had to
Lou
find-
from Rugrats.
You
Like,
had to find the same point to save your game.
no,
You can't
but that's
yeah.
real, man. That's
is.
real. We had that. And before that, there were no saves. There were no save
No,
things. Sega Genesis
no.
was no saves.
And you had to grind too.
Yeah.
At some point, like I remember with Seymour, Seymour was a great character.
I
He
did
was
like
really
him.
weird. He had a weird chest hair thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of had a crush on him.
It's the open chest, man.
It
You know what I'm
was
saying? With the little
cute,
shirt, you know,
yeah.
the
And
spiky hair.
Yeah, that's all it is. All the same
Always,
guys.
always.
And but that's like a nuance of Final Fantasy, and every iteration of him got harder and harder, and it was like, oh my god, I have to like beat him. Like I can't just go forward. And at some point, like I remember, like Mount Gaza. Is it Mount Gaza?
I think so. They'll tell us if we're wrong.
Okay, cool.
They'll
Yes.
tell us if we're wrong.
But anyway, or Gagazet. Mount Gagazet. Gaza's a real place. Gagazet.
Oh, yeah. Gaza
Gaza
is a
strip.
real place. Gaza is the
It's the
Snowy Mountain thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember, I literally remember spending time, like, I would come home from school, I would get all my work done, and then I would play Final Fantasy X. And I would grind and grind and grind, so that I could beat Seymour. And my cousin would laugh at me because I would die.
Yeah. Seymour was getting on my nerves. Like, yo, fam, why do you keep coming
He was terrifying.
back?
And Anima. Everyone should have known that something was wrong when his first summons is this, like, trapped ass creature that's just like ping ping killing things.
So when I first played, you know, when you get when it first came out, you only get the U.S. version. So then, like in the international version, I was like, oh no, we're gonna make sure I get you because you're very useful.
You are very useful.
You are very.
Did
useful.
you get the
Maga Sisters?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was another thing with 10. Was that they had all those cool little all those cool little things in the Calm Lands were so fun.
I'm telling you that. If not Final Fantasy VII, I would say Final Fantasy X has the best soundtrack.
You're making me wonder if I want to pick 12 over 10 because both of those are so close to me.
You like 14 too, though, right? You tried to get me to play 14.
14 was fun. I'll be honest, I did not beat it.
Yeah.
It was my friend's game, and I played it when she was my roommate, and I was very reticent about it at first because there was a car, and I was like, cars, even though there were cars in 7. You rode in that blue truck or whatever. But I was like, this is weird. There aren't any girls. I was like, why aren't there any girls? Weird. But it was fun. It was very fun.
You mean 14 and 15?
Wait, 14?
15 is with the 4 Rock Band boys.
14's online, right?
14's online.
14 was incredible. They did a really good job with the story.
15's
15's great. That was the one that I didn't finish. I couldn't finish 14 because it's an online game.
Yeah.
But I haven't played a lot of online games, and one thing I really appreciated about it was that you could consume the story on your own time,
right?
Without feeling like other people were ahead of you,
right?
And like the other people in the game that were doing because you have to play the raids with other people and stuff.
Right.
They were very helpful and very nice.
It's
and
a pretty good community.
Yeah,
honestly.
They would be like, yeah, we're gonna play this raid for the first time. Like, don't spoil anything. And like, the story was very connected.
Yeah.
And the cool thing was like, you know, in WoW and all those games, like, there's mounts you can get. Well, you can get like a chocobo mount. You can get like a mount, like the car from Final Fantasy 15. Like they integrated all the other stuff, and there were costumes. Like you could get
cool.
Cloud's costume. You could get and the classes. Like they had the monk from the traditional 1 and 2. And so that was really cool. I stopped playing because, like, I have really bad OCD, and when I play games, I get obsessed.
Yeah.
And I play them for a long time. But I'm just really, I'm pretty excited for the second remake to come out.
Yeah, I am too.
I really don't know, honestly, what the hell happened at the end, but
I had the theories, and I was like, I'll just wait to see what
I've
they
been
do.
told, people have been writing about the fact that they're like, don't get your hopes up, like some crazy shit's gonna happen, but like they did so well with the first one. I want them to continue that.
I think they have a great foundation, and I think they will build upon it correctly, because
I hope so.
you can't make a game like that and it just fumble.
Yeah.
Because some people didn't like. I don't know if you played The Last of Us.
No.
So apparently people did not like the second one.
And it's weird because
But it was for stupid reasons, though.
I know why.
It was
because I spoiled myself, and I know what happened, and like voice actors, people were mad at voice actors.
They were yelling at them and being really rude to them.
Yes, and that's a whole story.
That's
But like people bullying people and like.
Right. It was bad. Oh, speaking of like voice actors, so when Final Fantasy VII came out, I don't know if you saw, but like the voice actor for Aerith would do like voice acting videos, and when she would cry I would love those videos.
Yes.
I would watch all the ones that would come out.
I
It
didn't
was
like
fun.
Aerith when I first played
Right.
it, and you were talking about the names that you gave people. I'm pretty sure I called Cloud like Turd Head and Butt Fart. Like I just
Nice.
Stupid. I'm pretty sure that Barrett was Mr. T because that was what he was.
I mean, that's what he was. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Cloud was like Butt Fart, and it was like Sphincter Hole and like all these poop names because I was just like whatever. And then of course when you play it again, you're like, no, this is Cloud.
We're just gonna stick
this
with
is
Cloud.
Aerith.
Yeah.
This is who this is.
Yeah.
I hated Yuffie. I hated her with all my fucking heart.
She's kind of annoying.
Very annoying.
Yeah, she got
but
annoying.
I saw the remake had that edition of her, and I was like, I kind of want it.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
So apparently it's only for PlayStation 5.
That's the other thing, which I don't have. So
yep, the search has begun
I
for
wonder if they're
PlayStation
gonna
5.
do that with Vincent. Could you imagine if they did that? I mean, that would be like PlayStation 6. So like, I don't know.
Nah, they'll include it, but like DLC is a whole nother topic for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was what I named them.
What
and
did
then
you
of
call
course,
Aerith? Like bitch face or something?
I think I named her Eris, because I saw there was like because there's a translation.
There's a
difference.
translation thing.
There's Aerith and then Ares.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wasn't really into her. My poor soul, stupid soul, did not understand how integral a healer was in your party in Final Fantasy. And you always have to have a healer.
Gotta have a healer. Gotta have a dedicated healer.
You have to have a dedicated healer. Yuna is the best dedicated healer. And even in 10-2, which I think is an amazing game.
I tried to play
Really?
it, man. I tried.
I'm going to, not to be sexist, but I think it is more female-oriented.
Okay.
Like, that's probably why guys don't like it as much, because it is like a girl power sort of thing, which...
I don't even think it was that. I think it was just like the battle system was like weird.
Yeah, I liked it.
But the crazy thing is, it's similar to 13's battle system where you have like the different classes. So it's kind of similar to that, but it was...
I like changing outfits.
Yeah.
It was very Sailor Moon-esque, because there was like a whole transition like scene where they would turn into...
I do
and
like that.
I loved
That's
it.
pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
But she was still like dedicated healer. It was like all these cool things, and I was like, "You're the white mage. I don't give a fuck. You're still the white mage."
They didn't bring Lulu, and that pissed me off too.
Lulu was one of my bisexual awakening moments.
Listen, if you were like, listen, Brandon, you can have any female character from anything become real.
You.
It is Lulu, without a second, with no guesses for me.
She is the best.
Tifa might make me think, but Lulu is the one I picked.
Yeah. Waka is a dumbass.
He ended up with her. He got lucky, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But
And I didn't realize it was John DiMaggio until way later, who played
oh, really?
Jake in Adventure Time. The dog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He does everything. He's like the second voice actor that I always recognize aside from Steve Blum, who does everything.
Everybody. Yeah.
Have you watched the Clone Wars? That's a whole other
So,
story, but...
That's the thing that I forgot to tell you. I don't watch either of the Star Junks. Star Wars or Star Trek.
Why? Do you have
It's weird. I don't normally like space shit, right?
Okay.
But I love Cowboy Bebop. So it's like one of those things where I might have to like revisit. But I've never been. But it's crazy because I've liked Cowboy Bebop. There was this show on, remember Tech TV or G4 TV?
Boy.
Yeah. And
X-Play.
Come on, man. What? They had an anime block. And there was a show called Crest of the Stars and Banner of the Stars. So I like that, and that was Space Up. But everything else, like, I'm not in the space.
So are you more of a fantasy oriented? Do you like Lord of the Rings and stuff?
I like Lord of the Rings. Yep.
Okay.
Like Lord of the Rings, but don't like Harry Potter.
You then, I think, need to watch either Star Wars or Star Trek. You need to. Okay, so what's funny is that I was such a huge Star Wars person. I don't know how much time we have left, so I'm sorry.
I can edit stuff out. I also wanted to try like doing like but we'll get to that later. Go ahead.
So I've watched all the Star Wars. Love some, hate some. My favorite Star Wars is the animated Clone Wars series.
The one that came out in Toonami when it first debuted.
And it's incredible.
They say it is, man.
Tommy and I swear by it. We've watched all of it. I mean, that's where Ahsoka is, and she's the Mandalorian, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Ahsoka!"
Like without even like knowing who that is, I can see who it is.
Yeah.
Because I like
Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka. Yeah.
Love Rosario Dawson, by the way.
Me too.
Come on.
She's perfect.
Come on. What?
She is Ahsoka.
Come on.
If you ever watch it, you would love it.
Yeah.
You would love it. I know the stuff that you like,
and
I think that it's such a good marriage of Star Wars, for one, is a good marriage of Star Wars and fantasy. Like, if you're going to go off on the deep end and watch something sci-fi, starting with Star Wars, I think, is a good thing, because there are a lot of fantasy elements with it. The Force is very spiritual, it's very magical, and so that is probably why I liked it the most first, because I was not a sci-fi person.
Okay.
I was not...
So would I need to know anything about Star Wars to watch Clone Wars? Like, how much would I need to know?
Honestly, you could probably watch the prequels, which suck.
Okay.
But you could watch them, get through them, and then just watch the first two.
Okay.
You don't even have to watch all three.
Okay.
So you can watch the first two and go, these are awful, and then watch Clone Wars and go, this is dope. I love it.
That's funny.
And then keep going. Yeah, we went to watch the prequels, and I know they're bad, but like, oh my God, they're so bad. There's this part. Everyone always talks about Hayden Christensen, who I don't ever snub the actors, because I know what they go through to some extent, and I don't ever try to like say things about people, but like, the acting was awful. And there's literally this scene that people have memed of like Hayden Christensen playing Anakin in the movie, and then Anakin in Clone Wars, because it's all about like the in between is like Obi-Wan and Anakin turning evil. Right. And everyone's hatred of the prequels is that you don't really understand why he turns evil. He's just like a whiny bitch. Yeah. And it's like, why did you become an evil person? Because you're a whiny bitch.
Which is weird for like a prequel, because it's like
yeah,
you would think like builds to it.
Yeah. But so so the meme is funny because it shows like Anakin from Clone Wars, and he says something really charming and sweet to Padme, and you're like, Anakin. And then the second one is Anakin from the prequels, and it's Hayden Christensen, and Padme tells him this beautiful story. She's like, oh, well, when we used to live here, we used to like go and frolic, and we would go do this, and he goes, I hate sand. And that's what he says, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, you asshole. So, yeah. Putting all of that aside, I really think that you would like Clone Wars. And I would start with Star Wars, and then once you get more inundated with like the tech, because Star Trek, there is fantasy elements, absolutely, but it's more time travel based than like. There's no like magical element. There's a little bit of a magical element in DS9, but like other than that, it's more tech based.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Here at Clueless Vino, we like to rate our wines.
Okay.
Out of 5 glasses.
Okay.
You can do quarters, halves if you need to. And then we just figure out which of the wines we like the best. So we're gonna start off with the Easthorpe Sauvignon Blanc. What would you give that out of 5?
A 3.
3?
Medium. It was fine. It's good.
Not
I want
offensive.
some more of that one.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, It wasn't. It's just it's a good wine.
So, I typically like whites, and
I do too.
It was decent.
Yeah.
It was very decent. Probably like a 2.75 for me.
Okay.
I've had Sauvignon Blancs a lot lately.
Okay.
I
don't know the difference between any of them. I thought Pinots were always white, but apparently they're also red.
There's a Pinot Grigio and a Pinot Noir. So
okay.
Kind of,
Look, you know that.
I just know names.
You know more than I do.
I just know names. But yeah, 2.75. It was cool. It was very crisp.
Mm-hmm.
I would drink it again. Like if someone's like, "Hey,
it's
I had this." Like, yeah, I'll have a glass. Cause I've had somewhere I'm like, I probably wouldn't have this. I would have it if it's the only thing you have.
Oh yeah.
However, but if it was like,
you had
I grab this.
alternatives.
Right. Yeah. But it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had 7, which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just strictly off of our topics today.
Mm-hmm.
What would you give 7 out of 5? That's weird to say. 7 out of 5.
I get you. I liked it. It was different.
It was definitely
That was
different.
the first thing that you said, and that very set me off because it did not taste like anything I've had before. I would give it a 4.
Okay.
It wasn't like the most delicious thing I've ever had,
Yeah.
but it was very good and it had a very distinct, memorable flavor.
That's what I was going to say, too. It leaves an impression on you from the sip immediately. I was shocked at it. I still don't know what kind. It just says a table wine. I would love to know what that is.
I know, a table wine.
Like I just feel like that's like vague.
They're being modest. They're like,
yeah, it's very vague. But for me, I would get that a 3.5.
Okay.
Because that was cool. That's cool. I like that it made its home with me. Like it's like I'm here. This is what I am. Like, oh, that's not bad. Not bad. I was impressed by it. And finally, we had the Kaleidoscope, which was a red blend. What would you get that out of 5?
I would give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I reserved my 5 for something really crazy.
Like crazy.
But this is like sweet and good, and like obviously I made you pour me like I don't know, maybe my 3rd glass. I don't know, but it's very nice to drink.
I'm surprised. I like this. I like 4.25 for me.
And you're not a red person either.
I'm not. But see, here's the thing about red blends. Like I always say, red blends aren't like pure reds. So it's not like not a Pinot Noir. It's not like a whatever. It's like a blend of stuff. But this is really good.
Yeah, it's very drinkable.
I think this is my 3rd actually. Honestly, this is really good.
Your favorite you've had?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember the. It's one of the. It's probably top 5 that I've had on the show so far. It's really good. It's really good.
Cool.
But yeah, I am glad that you're here though. This was fun.
This was so fun.
This was fun. We've been talking about this just nerding out on Final Fantasy for a while.
We've been wanting to talk about this since we met, and we haven't had a chance to do it because we didn't want to like overwhelm anybody else that was with us.
Right. Exactly. Like, cause we could like just like today.
Oh, we could still go.
We could go for hours. But it's just cool to be able to. I'm glad I was able to build this platform to be able to do it and finally have somebody to do it with.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for that.
Thank
for
you.
Sure. If you want to just give people. I let people like, oh, you want to give me your IG or Facebook stuff?
Yeah.
Go ahead if you want to.
Sure. Yeah. So, I guess my big social platform that I post on is Twitter.
Okay.
It's Cassie Thulu, so it's like Cthulhu but Cassie. Right now, Tommy and I might start a podcast.
You should.
We might look out for that. It's like we're thinking about an RPG podcast, which you will inevitably be a guest on more than one time, I'm sure.
Come on.
So we're talking about that because it's such an integral part of our lives. Right now it's a lot of Star Trek, but it kind of just depends on what I'm watching, what I'm doing. I finished Star Trek. I'm on Buffy now, so more Buffy stuff and just whatever medium I'm kind of ingesting. But yeah.
Cool, man. Always follow me on Clueless Vino on Instagram. you want to sponsor me, please do it.
Yes,
but definitely,
naked.
Yeah, come on, man. But definitely follow me, man. Follow me, trying to build the base up. Subscribe on YouTube. Stik Braxton. And yeah, man. I do want to ask you one more question though.
Mm-hmm.
Of your tattoos, which is your favorite?
Oh my God, that's so hard.
You go Black Rabbit a lot, right?
Actually, so Black Rabbit is what this
Right,
shirt is from.
yeah.
My favorite artist is Adam Martin.
Okay.
He's from Civilization.
Okay.
And he does all my woodblock Japanese print.
Okay.
So it's literally all, I doubt you could see it, but you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
This is so I'm trying to go on a theme of like Japanese demons.
Okay.
So this is
My favorite, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a, oh God, I've had too much wine. It's like a, not the fox demon, but it's like a cat kind of demon. And then he just did this one for me a few weeks ago. It's a Duraguma, which is like a female spider demon.
Okay. Yep.
And he's done my turtle. He did my back. I'm obsessed with him. He's amazing. So, I don't know. I'm really into this right now.
Yeah.
I think this Duraguma is my favorite.
That's the one.
I'm going to have to get someone to do a Genova tattoo for me, though.
You're gonna... Listen, when you said it earlier, like, oh my God, like Sephiroth ripping it. Oh, come on, that'd be a crazy
how
tattoo.
dope. I think I want it right here.
Oh, that would be dope.
Oh, it would be so cool.
That would be dope.
So important.
That would be dope. I think my birthday's coming up soon, so I feel like it's time.
That's when I get one.
I actually saw, I was going through my Facebook memories again, and the last tattoo I got was 7 or 8 years ago.
Wow,
Yeah,
you got it. Yeah,
it's time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's time.
Absolutely.
We'll see what I get. We'll see what I get. But yeah, man. Again, I want to thank you for coming on, and you know, it might not be your last time. It might not be your last time, but we might have to nerd out on some other shit. You know?
I'd be fine with that.
Come on.
We have plenty to talk about.
Oh my God, right? And we also gotta get Tommy up here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's so excited.
Yeah, we gotta get him up here too.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget to drink up.